So, what is the biggest challenge that faces you as a provider right now? All right, we're going to hand this over to Amy.
Keto. And that's not to say that it's not appropriate for certain circumstances and certain populations, but just not this one precisely. This idea of fat adaptation, and that if you just cut out carbs, your body's going to burn fat as though it's a carbohydrate, defies reality. But you know, people read things on the internet, and the person who's writing it sounds really, convincing, and so they go and try it out, and then all sorts of things happen. Specifically with women trying to do things like intermittent fasting and ketogenic diets because their brothers, their male partners are really successful at it, and our physiology is different, our hormones are different. A woman's body is made to withstand, to do everything it can to withstand starvation and still ensure the species survive. And so we will ratchet stuff down and in order to do that, and depending on where you are in your life cycle, because there's always in nutrition, there's always a caveat to everything, and there is no one nutrition rule that works across the board for everybody. And so you always have to take everything you read on the internet through the lens of who you are. I know I've lost my train of thought. I can go on this rant for a long time.
Is there any other challenges you
have as a provider? One thing that I've been noticing in the last year is there's a lot of, I'm seeing women have an extra layer of shame about wanting to lose weight. And that's generally not something that is a big deal in this population, but what I'm seeing is women are coming in and they're saying, my joints ache, I feel older, I don't have energy, and I know my diet has a lot to do with this, but I'm really busy and I need to figure out how to dial in the diet so that I feel better. And then at the end of an hour and a half conversation, she'll throw in, and it would be okay if I lost a little bit of weight too. And there's this extra layer of shame that I'm seeing women walk in with that wasn't there 10 years ago when people were more openly dieting, I guess, or at least this age group, the Gen X young boomers. And it bothers me because on the whole, we all carry too much shame as it is, and the body positive movement is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing, but it is not a reason to add an extra layer of shame on you because you aren't satisfied. So I just want to tell, just don't, wherever there's shame, get rid of it, because it's not serving you, ultimately. It's hindering you, it's holding you back. And that's something that I've been seeing lately that I find troubling, so.
Yeah, thanks Amy for that. We're gonna ask the same question of Stephanie. What is the big that you face today as a massage therapist?
So the first thing that most of you probably think of when you hear the words massage therapy is spa, relaxation, rocks, water, Zen music.
I don't think any of us do.
Okay, that's good. Don't think along those lines. A lot of people on my table are crying, but in a good way. Just kidding. No, I try not to make my clients cry. But so I think that's the biggest stigma for massage therapy, and it always has been. So Washington has been really great in promoting massage therapy and helping people understand that it is part of healthcare. It is a holistic part of your routine. It should be, and not just something that you should do to relax. So I work with athletes, whether it's recovering from STP or it's maintenance during rugby season, or you're recovering from an injury, you had surgery, you need scar tissue treatment. So it's not just going into Massage MD for a 50-minute massage. It's, you think about the people who are on the sidelines at an NFL game that are helping with cramps and all of that stuff. So we are part of that whole team, but it's just getting people to recognize that. And I've probably done a really, you understand that living here, which is great. It's not like that everywhere. Now it's just people realize, you know, chiropractic works a skeleton. So, and as part of PT, I love working with physical therapists as well as nutritionists, because I want to know what is going in to fuel you and how are you exercising and stretching, recovering after an event, before an event. What are you doing on the weekends to, you know, to help stabilize blood sugars? I mean, all of that goes into making sure that you are performing at your peak level, and we want to maintain that. So even if you're just overusing, misusing certain muscles, as it was mentioned, you know, if you hurt your big toe and now you're compensating in another way, you could be injuring muscles because of that compensation. So that's part of my job, is to figure out, okay, how are you using your body and what can we do to help correct that so you can be more successful and run a 7-minute mile versus an 8-minute mile. You know, just being able to get you back into that peak performance level and keep you there.
Thanks, Stephanie.